Oh, well, they said that my infection thingamajig is a little low. It's just under the line, the cutoff line. So they said no chemo today, and stay away from people, which is not a problem. It's not bad. It's just they don't do it when it falls under this number. And she told me the number, and it didn't sound bad. Anyway, so I just got fluids today. But I also just got a foot x-ray because for a couple of weeks my foot has been killing me on the bottom as if I stepped on something or did something. I don't know what, but so I leave the cancer center to drive over to the hospital across the street, which was a huge mistake. There is no parking. I went around 2-3 times. Went back to the cancer center and said, oh, I could just walk up the street and across the street, and there's a door there. So I'm walking up, and this guy's doing some work on this something. So I'm trying to peek around their work truck, and there's this pregnant woman behind me. And I said, oh, we're in the crosswalk, and I go to start, and I goes, I should stop. And this guy just comes barreling through the crosswalk as I'm screaming, oh, that's okay. It wasn't like I was standing in a fucking crosswalk. See, that's when I realized the pregnant woman was behind me. I didn't know she was there at first. I was like, oh, great. Another person gets to witness the angry curmudgeon. So I walk across the street, and as she's passing me, I noticed that it's a staff entrance only. I said, I can't walk in there? She's like, no. I was like, okay. So now I'm walking around the corner and I'm out on the main street there again, and I'm like, that's all right. My foot doesn't hurt that much that I can't just drag it along to the entrance that's seems like a half mile away. And then all of a sudden this guy comes screeching down the street, cuts in front of another guy, and I can't hear him yelling at the window. He gets out of the car, and I was like, great, this day couldn't get any better. I said, here comes a lunatic. I can't run away. I can't do anything. It's like, oh, my life. Oh, Jesus, I love my life. Just get me on that cruise ship, please. And he gets out, walks over to the guy's car, and starts calling him every name in the book and tapping on his window, and the guy's just trying to ignore him. And I'm like, oh, please don't let him have a gun. Please just... I'm hobbling as fast as I can to get away. Of course, I didn't bring a cane today. And I'm trying to get away, and finally this guy gets back in his car. And I get up to the entrance, I walk in, and the sign says, this entrance closed. So I walk down to the other end of the building. I go inside. I tell them what I'm there for. And it was pretty quick. It was the quickest x-ray I ever got. But some of the ways they wanted me to position my foot, I'm not totally able to do any longer. I have screwed up my body so much over the years. And a lot of times didn't go to the doctor. I said, it'll heal on its own. Nothing heals on its own. Jesus, nothing heals on its own. But then when after I'm done, I'm walking down the hallways, making my escape, hoping I can make it all the way back down to the parking lot, the cancer center where I reparked. And these two doctors walk around the corner, and these guys are the size of offensive linemen in NFL. And I look, I goes, Jesus, you guys are huge. And they start laughing. I said, I hope you played college football at least. And one guy goes, a little bit. But I'm telling you, they had to be like 6'5". They had to be like 260 or something, but really good shape and everything. They were really huge. The older I get and the smaller I get, the bigger everybody else looks. So I finally convinced Karen that she's taller than me. It's funny, that dinosaur thing that Frankie posted, all I can think about is that when she puts things up like on the top shelf in the cabinets, I can't get it. I honestly can't reach them, and I have to ask her to get them because she has normal human arms. And as McDonald's, we don't have normal human arms. somehow dinosaur DNA got involved or something, or alligators or crocodiles, or I cannot reach anything. I cannot reach anything. So anyway, that's the update. I'm just sitting here in the parking lot. I was going to go sit and stare at the water, but I didn't feel like it, so I'm staring at the high tension wires in Weymouth. I used to come here and park here before, and I'm thinking now, I'm looking over it, and it's just about every store except the dollar store, I think, has changed in a few years. Or maybe I'm wrong. So I'm looking over that Precinct restaurant, which, oh, God. Sounds like we need to go there soon, Karen. That place was so good. I think Cousin Alice and her husband Frank have like a subscription or something, or a membership there or something. I don't know. I don't think Frank's ever eaten anything other than a lobster there, but maybe he has. Oh, God, Precinct 10 in Weymouth. So good. So good. So good, so good, so good. Take my word for it in the Medicos. Oh, and across the street, no breakfast place. The Irish guy moved out down the street. Now it's Skillet. I wonder how that is. I don't know. It's been a while since we did a breakfast. I don't know. I swear to God, with the traffic, that these people who are allegedly working from home are working from their cars. You know, they probably have their phone mounted in case somebody sends them an email, and they go out to Bed Bath and Beyond or Sheets and Shits or whatever it's called. I think that's closing. I don't know. I see them. Some of them are over at It's a Party, probably at the dollar store too. But it's the middle of the day. Where are all these people going? Why aren't they somewhere? They should either be working from home or they should be at work somewhere. I don't know. So, yeah, I didn't get the chemo. Get it after we come back from the cruise. You know, and the other assorted things, I guess. But just wondering what's going on with this foot. Hope I find out today. Because it hurts. It hurts. I don't need anything else happening to me. So, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I was thinking about today, like about other jobs. I've done a lot of different things. But when I first went to work at Western Electric, they had you making handsets. Now, for those who aren't informed, that was the thing you used to put up your head to talk and listen to with a phone. And that was the first place you started. Or they had people there that were on light duty. So there was this woman that was there, and my father basically said that she was trying to make a case, you know, and all I know is I was sitting there one day, and I'm trying to make my handsets, and she turns around, she's right in front of me, looks at me, and she says, "I'm going to cut you open with a knife." And I was like, okay. Then she just turns back again. I get up, I go down to my boss, and I said, "The lady just told me that she was going to cut me open with a knife. Could it possibly change seats or something?" Her name was Shirley. She was okay, I'm going to be nice. She said no. I said, "This woman just sat and cut me open with a knife," and she's like, "Oh no, you know, we don't have any other open seats." So I was very young, and I went back and I sat there. And a little while later, the woman turned around and said something like, "I hate you," or I don't know. She kept on doing this for the rest of the day. But I went in and I said something to my father. I was like, "What can I do here?" It's like, "This woman keeps threatening me, and Shirley there isn't doing anything about it." He says, "Oh, okay. Wait a minute." He walks out, walks down, and I can see him walk up to her, and he pulls the right finger out of his holster and starts air jabbing it like in her face. And I see after a while she's getting like really kind of horrified or something. I have no idea what he said. I don't know. But he came walking back. He goes, "Go back to work." So I went back and I was walking back, and Shirley says to me, "Oh, we need you to go over to this other department and see so-and-so and for the rest of the day." And so I walked over there, it was the other side of the third floor, walked up to this boss and said, yeah, they sent me over here. He said, yeah, what for? I goes, I have no idea. I said, but this crazy lady in front of me keeps threatening to kill me or stab me or something. And he knew exactly who I was talking about. She had been doing this for years, off and on light duty. She was just trying to make a case, get a payoff or something. I don't know. The thing is, would sit in that chair all day long and not do anything. And nobody ever said anything to her. You know, she was out of her mind. Then one day she wasn't there, and they put this other woman in front of me. And I'm just going along, and she turns around, she goes, do you play tennis? I said, I have. I said, but I don't. She says, oh. Looks at me and says, well, it's a nice workout after sex. I mean, what the hell? They put another nutbag in front of me. Another one apparently was looking to make a case or something, and spent the rest of the time she was sitting in front of me making very lewd comments or asking me about my sex life. I'm like 19 years old. I think maybe 18. I don't know. But it's like, what is this? What is it with this place? This place is full of like nutbags or whatever, right? And I'm telling you, that place was insane. Oh my God. Just totally insane. And every so often I'd just walk over to my father after I had met my quota or my piece count for the day or whatever. And he would be showing me what he was working on. And I said to him, he worked with 3 or 4 other guys there, and they call it in the cage. And it was the most really technical electronic stuff that worked. And I goes, do those guys ever do anything? And not in a whisper, he says, them? Never. Don't do a thing like that. And none of them responded or said anything. So I thought maybe he was joking. And I asked him afterwards. He goes, oh no, they're very lazy. He goes, my father would come to work and work and just work and just work and work and work and work. And you could smoke there while you were working. So you never had to get up to go outside or go anywhere. Back in that day, you could smoke anywhere. And you literally walk through the building smoking a cigarette if you wanted to. And he was just always bent over doing the work or anything. And they had some of the most amazing stories about these guys. The one I can remember is the guy Larry that worked. Now, this was 1979, and Larry drove a 67 Buick, I think. Like, my father said he was very cheap, and he said at one point he put a padlock on the refrigerator because he had 2 or 3 sons and they ate too much. He thought they ate too much. So I thought he was joking. So I think I said something to my mother, who's very aware of Larry, and she's like, this is not joking. Your father doesn't joke about work. And I said to him, I goes, are you serious? He goes, yeah, he put a padlock on the refrigerator because he thought they were eating too much. My father may have been the only normal person that worked in that place. My Uncle Al Joseph worked there. And he owned the place. He just walked around, you know. I'm not sure what he did. I honestly am not sure what he did at any time of day. But people thought it was funny he was my uncle because sometimes they weren't exactly sure of what his ethnicity was, because he was very brown. He's very brown. And he went to work there in the 50s, and his nickname, or it might have been the 40s, but his nickname back then was Blackie, because he had walked into a completely white factory, like everybody, you know. It was just funny because the newer guys that work there, as they say, of color, my uncle would be walking by and everybody would yell, hey, Blackie, like that, like a really loud voice. And these guys would go, who said that? Who looked around? And I remember this guy, Frank Farmer, I think his name was, and I was explaining to him that it was my uncle's nickname. Frank had worked there a couple of years, but he didn't, he hadn't seen my uncle before. And he's like looking at it funny because and he's okay with them calling that? I'm like, yeah. Why wouldn't he be? I mean, that's his nickname. Everybody has nicknames of some sort or something. This guy Frank had a silver tooth, and that he could take out and click, pop back in or something, and it looked nasty. It didn't look like silver. It looked like lead. You know, he was crazy too. They were all crazy down there. If he didn't act crazy, people thought he was strange. And that company's long gone, but they're the ones that used to make all your telephones and numerous things. They used to repair the phone booths. They'd actually bring phone booths in, like the whole phone booth in, and forgot to work on it, the old wooden ones. And I don't know. I wish my father was still here. I wish I recorded everything that he ever said about that place, or anything he ever said about what he had done in life. He was still pissed that he had to go to Korea. Oh my God. He hated Harry Truman. He was still pissed. I mean, as long as he could remember. He could actually remember Korea better after the Alzheimer's kicked in. And we actually found out what he really did over there. Amazing. He once got blown up by a roadside bomb. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but yeah, he actually got blown up by a roadside bomb. He said it was most likely a stolen American artillery shell, because that's what they used. And I'm thinking, well, these clowns over here use some kind of explosive, but he said they used stolen American artillery shells.